right, countdown to Geekcast, and this is Real Retro Ray, coming to do the interview with Ariel. He is a current artist that's going to be drawing the crossover for TMNT and Street Fighter, which is coming out in a couple of months. So we're going to have him come talk about what he got into, how he got into comics, and his love and stuff like that. And let's get him in the room for us. How's it going, Ariel?
Hi, all good here. Thank you so much for inviting me to your
Cool.
podcast.
Thank
And
you for
hi,
coming.
hi to everyone.
Cool. And so, where are you? From? Where are you located?
I'm from Mexico, but I'm living in Croatia currently.
Oh, okay. Nice. I do have a friend of mine who's from Mexico too. I think he's on your friends list. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with him. Carlo Barberi.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy and great artist. Yeah, I'm a
Nice.
fan of
Cool.
his work, and he's very cool. He's been very cool to me.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's I met him a while back, and he's like you said, very cool person.
Yeah.
Um, and same thing. I do notice that you're a sports fan as well. I see you like
Yeah.
football.
Well, yeah, I'm not like an expert or anything, but I like football, and I've been watching some Formula One recently, and
Oh,
and
nice.
again, I'm not like someone who knows a lot about the
Yeah,
sport, but I'm getting into it a little bit when I have time because I really don't have that much time.
I know.
I
I mean, they put.
actually the NFL games I often watch them after
Oh, okay.
yeah, and in like only the highlights and stuff like that because I'm really busy so it's difficult for me
Nice.
to actually watch an entire game but I do like them and I follow the sport a little bit.
So what is who is your favorite team in NFL?
The 49ers, the 49ers, and I actually like several teams, and the Broncos. I follow players, but the 49ers are the ones who I always support.
Nice. That's what I started with when I was younger.
Mm,
When I was a teenager, I got into it because of Joe Montana.
yeah.
And when he retired, then I ended up becoming a Brady fan because I'm a big Michigan Wolverine
Mm,
fan since high school. I've followed Michigan from then on. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You follow certain players. Like right now, since he
mm,
retired, Brady retired. Now
yeah.
I'm going to probably be a Detroit Lion fan just because of Hutchinson from
Mm,
Michigan that's up there. But
cool.
the cool thing is you're good at sports, so you like sports as well. You like that stuff. But getting back into the art part of it, when did you start drawing, or what got you into drawing for comics?
Well, drawing. I think maybe since I was a toddler. Uh, Actually, the first memory that I have uh, in my entire life is drawing with crayons on my, how do you call them, the cradle.
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah, the
yeah,
crib, like a crib, yeah.
yeah, that's the first memory I have of my existence. And so maybe from that time I was already trying to draw, and I forever but now when I've always liked movies, animation, and comics. um, but I mean, comics is something that you have more control of because as an artist, you're also like the director of photography, the director, and all
Yeah,
of that. So you get to make more decisions. Whereas in animation, you only play a very small part. So when I found out that that's how animation was made, I was like, no, I think I prefer comics to do comics
yeah.
because you have more control, and it's more like your thing. And when I was a teenager, I started, like thinking more seriously about becoming a comic book artist, and so I started to learn on how to draw comics.
And did you? go to school for it, or did you actually just take art in college or in high school, and then kind of just created your craft from there, or did you take inspiration from other artists and just kind of played with it, create your own?
Uh, no, I didn't. I mean, I had some classes back when I was maybe a pre-teen, but I didn't stick to that. When you're younger, you're not as disciplined
Yeah,
as you should be. So, and where I'm from is not like they had many options. You know,
yeah,
if there
exactly.
had been maybe like a very good art school, maybe I would have gone there, but there was none. So uh, I was trying to learn however I was able to, and wherever I could, uh, learn something, I would do it. There was no internet back then. There were no online tutorials, so it was more difficult to get the resources to learn. So and I was also very young, so I thought I was a great artist, even though I didn't even know much anatomy. So
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
and then afterwards, I because of life happens, as they say.
Yeah,
Uh, I went on and did illustration for newspapers, for magazines, for advertisement, then graphic design, web design,
nice.
and precisely in 2012, I saw an ad on Facebook about a comic book art course, like a 2-day course, a quick course, and it was, and this is funny, Carlo Barberi, who was the instructor.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, that's why when you mentioned him, I was like, oh, because actually I went, I lived like, in that time, I lived in Nuevo Laredo, which is like 2 hours or 3 hours, I think, from Monterrey.
Yeah,
And he's from Monterrey. So I went there, I met him. The guy who organized, who is called El Mudo, he was already a friend of mine. So I went there. I met Carlo. He liked my stuff, and actually, he was the one who said, I think you should pursue this again. Because I had tried to get into comics when I was a teenager. I tried to get into Marvel, DC, Image, Wildstorm with Jim Lee and all that, and I hadn't been able to. Uh, and and I think I was very near, because actually an editor from DC told me, you're like this far from having the level to get into comics, but life happened. So, and then when I went to Carlos' course, uh, he told me, I think you should try again because you're good and this and that. And he was very supportive, and he gave me many tips, many some advice, etc., etc. And yeah, I started again, learning again on how to draw comics.
nice. So when you started learning, did you just start with the bodies, or because like Carlo likes drawing? I mean, he'll do everything. He likes to do the details in the buildings,
Mhm.
from the cars. You like creating the world around and doing the female and characters in general, or what is your favorite part, or just everything?
uh, I think that I'm a different artist now that I was, when I was young, because now I enjoy many other aspects of being a comic book artist. So before, it was like the backgrounds were something that I mean, I suffered trying to do them, and I didn't like them. But now I enjoy most of it. So it actually is like a challenge whenever you um, are presented with the opportunity of doing something different, something new, that maybe you have not done before. Uh, it's like a challenge. So I don't have the mentality that I had before, that it was like, oh, I have to do this. No,
Yeah,
now it's, oh, how do I do this? It's something maybe new. So and actually, I have been associated with different types of projects that are really different. I've done sci-fi, cyberpunk, superheroes, comedy comics, some horror comics when I did Evil Ernie last
Oh, nice.
year, and yeah, and actually, if you look at them, they are not really similar. They are very different things,
Yeah.
but that has helped me grow, as an artist. And actually, now that I'm doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter, it's like I had not drawn those types of characters for some time, so I had to, relearn some stuff, uh, and also I wanted to make the characters look, uh, at least the fighters, to make them look more like the video game.
Nice.
So they have these massive fists, and it's a very exaggerated anatomy, and I wasn't doing that at that moment. So it was not that difficult, but it was I had to step up to the challenge, and become accustomed to drawing those proportions,
Yeah.
in a very fast period of time, very short period of time, because I had to already start drawing the comic. I had done some tests and all of that, but I had to start drawing the pages.
So we're gonna.
Eh,
So guys, you're seeing here. This is one of the pages that he did. I mean, if you see the details, the muscles and everything, and then the turtles, the detail. I mean, you did a pretty good job by, like you said, creating towards the game and even the characters from the turtles. Cause you got the details on them pretty good.
Thank you, thank you, thank
And then,
you.
so when you got the call to do this, I mean, what was your, thoughts? I mean, were you kind of surprised? You're like, oh, I'm going to be doing the turtles because they have a big cult following. Each of them have their own following for fans. Like, and
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away, but it was not like I got that call and you were gonna do it, because
yeah,
first it was like I mean, I had been in contact with some editors in IDW with Tom Watts, and it was like back and forth. I like your work, but there was nothing for me, and suddenly he's like, I think I have something for you, and he mentioned a few projects that I mean they were considering me for, and the first of all he mentioned a cover that I did for Armageddon game, The Alliance #1, which features the character Karai from the Turtles universe,
yeah,
and I did that cover, and we discussed other things, and he mentioned there's a crossover that's gonna happen with the Turtles and Street Fighter, and I was like blown away. But I mean, it was like they were going to consider me amongst other artists. So, uh, and then it was like radio silence for several months. So I thought I didn't get it.
yeah.
So it was like later on, it was like, we are still thinking of you. Actually, they said we are considering you to be the artist, but then nothing. So I was like I had time to assimilate the idea that maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. I don't know. So I first of all, I tried to be cool about it, because if you're thinking every day, am I going to get it? Am I going? You're going to go crazy. So I
Yeah.
was like, I have to keep another type of attitude. If I get it, it's great. If I don't get it, well, I am happy they considered, they thought about me. And then one day they emailed me and they said, we're gonna start very soon. And it was like, whoa, yeah, of course I was blown away.
So right now, do you have? They haven't really stated how many issues it's going to be. Is it going to be like a 5 issue series?
five
Five?
five
Okay,
issues, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Um, So right now I'm going to put up the second page for the actually interior. This one right here, this one, the detail you got into it is very nice. How, I mean, you got like the whole hitting the face, the motion. I mean, that is cool. I can wait. I can't wait to see how it looks in the color.
Thank
And
you.
then page two, I mean, that one in itself, the you got the ring and you got the fight. Of course, without giving out too much um, behind it, and then not releasing too much spoilers. It's is this story kind of like a Mortal Kombat ish type story, or
Well, in the sense that there is a tournament.
okay, okay,
There is a tournament and in Atlantic City, and both teams, if we can call them that, um, go to the tournament to test their skills. Like to fight other types of fighters and
oh, okay,
try
okay,
to learn from that and all that. But of course, there's something fishy going on because there are fighters who are disappearing, and
oh,
that's the thing that I cannot say what's happening.
gotcha, okay, gotcha. Nice. Well, even still, that overall, just from you telling us that, that's cool enough to think about it that they're actually testing their skills to see how good they are. I mean,
Ah,
because Street Fighter and Power Rangers have crossed over in the video game form. Power Turtles have crossed over in Power Rangers as well. So it's always cool when they do these mashups, in the
yeah,
comic world, because you're bringing two type of fans together to get one comic.
yeah.
Um,
And I mean that the fights are pretty cool. I think people will dig it because there are some crazy fights. And for example, yesterday I finished one of the last pages from issue 2, and there were like 12 characters fighting, and then it's crazy, but it's a lot of fun.
nice. Do so when you do the art, are you more of a digital or pencil person that or do you like to use both?
I migrated to digital like 2 years ago, approximately. Basically, because I needed to ink my own work,
Oh,
and
okay,
it just wasn't something that I was going to be able to do traditionally.
gotcha.
And so I decided to start doing digitally my work. First, I was working traditionally, so I started to mix it up.
Gotcha.
I can do some things digitally, maybe make a composition from drawings that I did, stuff like that. And but eventually, I knew that if I had to work to ink my own stuff, I had to do it digitally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I see here, like you said here, like you said, you do it. Here's some of the pictures of him, and it looks like his desk area
Mhm.
where he's drawing, and you can see where he has a different body and just
Mhm.
testing out the drawings, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Those are actually pretty old, and they are anatomy studies.
Oh,
You
nice. So
know.
that's not even for something. That's just for you to learn the body structure
Yeah,
and to draw
exactly,
stuff. Oh,
exactly.
nice,
That's for practice.
nice. And then these are cool. I have to show these because my buddy is a huge Wonder Woman fan, and he anything Wonder Woman he buys. But these are covers that he did on blank sketch covers. I mean, the detail on Wonder Woman is pretty cool, and then
Thank you.
even this other one as well. I mean, is there a certain character that you're wanting that doing the Street Fighter crossover? Is there a certain story that you would like to draw for Avengers, X-Men? Is there someone that you like that you would like to get to?
Well, I think that probably Superman,
You like Superman?
um, the Justice League. I would love drawing them, and of course, I love Marvel too. But eventually, I would love to do Superman. From Marvel, I would say maybe Captain America, Thor,
Nice.
uh, the X-Men, but I mean, I like the X-Men from the 90s and from the 80s. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not that I don't like other versions, but those are my favorite ones. So
nice. Well, that's pretty cool that you get into those stuff. So with this, the deadlines, so the issues you already finished um, one, and you're doing number two now. Where what's the official release date when you can actually start, you know, showing stuff and for the comic to be released?
I don't know. I mean, they sent me those images that you showed,
Hmm.
the cover, and that's it. And I saw the cover for, as I showed you, the cover for issue two. There's somewhere on the internet, on a website, uh, but it I don't think it has been officially released. But I think it should be released. The preview of the cover for number two, for issue two, should be released this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Wednesday. I don't know, but it's ready because there were like a few tweaks, a few corrections, and I actually did those. I think it was 2 days ago, and I think that the cover is ready for issue two. So people will be able to see it pretty soon. But it is already on the internet.
Nice. Well, yeah, you know how stuff tends to leak on the internet quite a bit, and
Yeah.
everything's like everybody starts jumping on it. Like I said, that's one thing I catches me when I caught this photo. The first thing when I saw it, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta reach out to the artist that's working on it," because these
Mhm.
are things that catch me from a comic book fan standpoint. You know, me growing up in the comics, back in the '80s and '90s, and I took that break from it, but then later on getting back into comics, and then getting introduced to Carlo Barberi's art as well, and all these new artists compared to what you were used to back in the day. It took it to a next level, and that's with you and even kids that draw nowadays. That's the reason why I'm doing this for the YouTube and stuff, is that so kids can see that if you that passion's there, go for it. I mean, the only way you're going to get better is by practicing and learning from it. And just like you said, that's something that you like doing and you wanted to do, and then you just look at where you're at now. I mean, it pays off in the end.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, but yeah, definitely that's the reason why, like I said, I reached out for this, and um, I'm looking forward to seeing what else that you get to work on. Um, have you and Carlo? When was the last time you talked to Carlo?
Well, actually, a few months ago, I did my Kickstarter for a creator-owned comic of mine
Oh, nice.
called Adelita 3017. And actually, if you type on the browser Adelita3017.com, you go to the website and you can see some of it. And the campaign got funded and all of that. I think they're going to start sending them the copies of the issue number one,
Oh, nice.
in a couple of months. But when I was doing that, I reached out to Carlo, and I sent him uh, the link to the issue, and I think that was the last time, and he was like, "Oh, cool," and all of that. Uh, we've talked several times, sometimes on conventions and all of that.
Nice.
And as I said, he's always been very cool to me, very, very cool, very encouraging, you know.
Well, have you been to any conventions?
Yeah, not for a while, but yeah, because well, I moved to Croatia, and there are a few events here, but they're pretty small. Actually, I'm going to London, MCM London Comic Con on May.
Oh, nice.
It's May 20 something, and actually, it's going to be around the date. when the first issue of the crossover between the Turtles and Street Fighter comes out. But yeah, I'm going there in the artist alley. I'm gonna be on the artist alley doing commissions. Um, in Mexico, in Mexico, in Mexico, I would I would go to some stores, like signing or drawing, but mainly I used to go to a convention which is called the La Mole Comic Con.
That one is supposed to be like San Diego, right?
I don't think it's that big, but it's pretty big. I mean, they get like 35,000 people or something like that each year, and little more, little less, but it's around 35,000 people that they get uh, on the event, and they actually used to do it twice a year. And now I think they're going to go back to that because of the pandemic. It messed up a lot of things, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I think they just had one um, this March, a few days ago. I think it was last weekend, and the other one is on September. But that I used to go there. I went like for five consecutive times, I think,
Nice.
and then I wasn't able to attend because I was with family things that I had to do.
Yeah,
And then now that I'm here, I cannot go, but maybe I'll go back
nice.
if the
I follow it. I
opportunity
follow it. That's the reason
comes.
why I was like, it's like I see it. To me, it seems like San Diego to me because they actually have big guests. They have a lot of
Yeah.
DC Marvel booths there,
No, no, I
which is
mean that the last one had Jim Lee
oh
and
nice,
Scott Williams and also Ron Perlman.
nice.
So they have good guests. Yeah.
Yeah,
uh, so it's a pretty huge event. The one before, they had Tom Welling from Smallville. So yeah, they I think John Claude Van Damme was there once. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool convention, really.
so, do you have any shows that you're a fan with? Like Carlo Barberi was a fan of Smallville. Like he's a big fan of Smallville. Do you have any shows that you like a lot? Like,
Carlo is a fan of Smallville. I didn't know that. I am a fan of Smallville also. And but current shows, I would say, I don't know. I like to watch like limited series, but currently I'm not really watching anything other than movies. I've been watching some 80s and 90s horror movies
nice.
recently, but series that I really liked, my mind went blank, and I have several. I don't know. I mean,
Sorry
I
to put in
would
your spot.
I would watch Arrow, but I mean that's gone.
Yeah.
Uh, I enjoyed the first and probably the second season of The Flash. What are the other superhero series out there right now?
There's still Flash is still there. From the CW, that's pretty much it. With DC and Warner Brothers kind of rewriting the series, that once Arrow season ends, that's pretty much it. There will be no more other than what James Gunn is going to release, um, like either on HBO Max and then the rewriting
Yeah.
the DC stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much where we're going to be. So the Arrowverse and all that, I'm assuming is
I
going to be pretty wiped out.
I enjoyed some of the Marvel shows,
Oh
the
yeah,
first ones. I liked Loki. What was the other one? I enjoyed Andor a lot.
oh yeah, that one was good too.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
mixed reviews. Some people don't like it,
yeah. I don't
and
know why. everybody has an opinion, and
Yeah.
I respect that. But I mean, even just the production value is pretty high. It's
Yeah.
really well done, and the special effects I think are the best
Yeah.
in all of the Star Wars TV series. And even though I'm a Jedi kind of guy, for me Star Wars are the Jedi. Without the Jedi, it's like it makes no sense to me. It's like any other sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
However, the Rogue One blew me away,
Oh yeah.
because it was really well done. And the same with Andor. Andor really is really more like I don't know, like a heist movie, a
Yeah.
thriller, and it's really well done. And it shouldn't have my interest because there's no Jedi there. But
Yeah.
however, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked Werewolf by Night.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That one. That one. Yeah.
Yeah,
When they
but
had
it
Man
it
Thing and
was
everything.
yeah, but it was just one episode, and I was like, I watched it, and I didn't know it was just like an special. I was like, oh, I like this. When is the next one coming out? And my friends were like, never. It's just like one time thing, and I was bummed because I liked it very much. And that the funny thing is that both actors are Mexican, and
Yes.
I didn't like them, and I mean they won me over with those roles. Diego Luna, before Rogue One, I was like, oh, Diego Luna, and I mean he nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed that role, and Gael Garcia, he did an excellent job on Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. It was definitely good. I mean, I think what it was, maybe Marvel was testing the waters to see how that would test. I
Mhm.
think to see because I mean, there's a different. It's not your standard. I guess like the superhero movie, so it's kind of dark, but at the same time, it has the. It's the same thing like with Moon Knight. I think with Moon Knight and that I think the two would have done well together if they would tie them in together, like Werewolf by
Mhm.
Night with Moon Knight and stuff like that. But like I said, I think it is just they were just testing to see how well it did, and then maybe
Yeah.
we maybe see them again with season two if they do Moon Knight. That would be pretty
Mhm.
cool.
And I liked WandaVision, and I thought I would hate it, and I didn't. I liked it.
Yeah.
Mandalorian, the first and second season, but I'm not watching the third one because I'm really busy. And
Oh
but
yeah, I
I've
can imagine the deadlines they got
Yeah,
you on.
yeah. But I've heard that it's not as good. So I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but that's what some people are saying. And also, of course, I think that the crown jewel of Marvel series is Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think they're going to match that uh, ever. I mean, it was amazing, an amazing show. I even liked the other ones. I liked Luke Cage. I liked um, Jessica Jessica Jones. I even liked Iron Fist, and many people hated it.
Yeah.
So basically, if we're talking about TV shows, that's it.
Nice. Those are definitely. It's going to be interesting with them doing the 18. It's going to be 18 episodes with Daredevil, and supposedly we're going to see Kingpin in there with them. So the two actors are doing the con circuit right now. So I guess they're kind of building the hype, so
We'll see.
fans, yeah, to see how
We'll
well it
see.
does. And
Yeah.
I hope they stay where it was dark,
Yeah,
and
I mean that's the thing. I think is it was we already saw that. So if we get a watered down version, I don't think it's gonna fly. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see what
exactly.
happens. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I don't want to take away too much of your time. Plus, it's late, up there from where you're at right now.
No, it's okay. I enjoy talking about this.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you even took, my message when I messaged you because, some people, when someone reaches out to someone and they're kind of like, "Who's this guy?" And why does he want to talk to me? You know what I mean? So people kind of they don't respond; they'll just blow it off. You know, and I do appreciate that you actually took the time to read the message and you know come join our podcast and talk about this stuff. Because, like I said, you know, without you guys, we wouldn't have these shows
Mhm.
and movies without the artists and writers. You guys is what help make these things happen. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, not. I mean, I haven't been responsible for something that goes into movies, but or television. But I agree that writers and artists are really important because I think comic books are a great source material, uh,
Yeah,
and the reason for that is because uh, there are not that many strings attached to the projects. In
yeah,
well, or it it, it didn't used to be before. I don't know right now, but before it was like maybe somebody had this crazy idea and they were like, okay, do it.
yeah,
Uh, it's not like with a movie that they're gonna spend $200 million. They're spending much less. So it's like it's a crazy idea. Do it. We'll see what happens. So uh, and I think that's when very often we get the best ideas,
yeah,
and now movies can take from that. Television shows can take from that,
yeah.
and so yeah, I think it's a great source material.
So what would going back now? You mentioned that. What was the first comic book that caught you? Like me, it was a gas station. I would go coming home from school. Here's like a gas station called back then. Well, they have them now again. They're back in Texas now, but it was a 7-Eleven. So I would stop on my way home and I would pick up a comic and a Slurpee, and that would be my how I got introduced to comics. What was the first comic that you can say this is what got me into the comic?
uh, I think that it was a mix of things because back then it was like movies,
Okay.
animation, and comics. However, movies and animation, at least the movies on TV were like free,
Yeah.
you know. So I didn't have to go anywhere, and so I had more access to that type of entertainment,
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
to cartoons and all of that. So I
Nice.
watched the Marvel cartoons. I mean I watched the Batman TV show, and I loved all of that. But I wasn't able to buy many comics. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
every once in a while, what I did is whenever I went to a library, I would read them or at least take a quick look at them. You know,
Yeah.
and then when I reached my teenage years, then I was like I had my allowance, and I was able to go wherever I needed to go, uh, and to take the bus and go
Yeah.
and go to a bookstore, because there were no comic book stores. There were like this booth, no, like this well, newsstands and stuff like that. And I would take a look at the comics and maybe select one or two,
Yeah.
and from there I continued, and but I cannot recall one that I would say that's the one. I think it was like all of the pop culture related to superheroes and fantasy and sci-fi and all of that. For me
Combine,
it
put it
was
together.
like, yeah, for me it was like the whole package, because
Nice.
I see people who's like, no, I've always been a DC fan or a Marvel fan, or I like this. But for me, it was like all of that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
and and
gotcha.
and, ba- and back then there was no like Marvel versus DC or anything. I mean, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
there's a Superman movie, let's go see it, and it's
yeah,
cool. And there's a Spider-Man cartoon, oh, it's pretty cool, and we would watch it. And the Marvel Heroes cartoon, when we would get the alcoholic Iron Man, and his heart was always aching, his chest, oh my heart, and
yeah,
all of that, and the Hulk, and the whole TV series. I mean, so yeah, and for me it was like a combo, of
yeah.
things.
But that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, that's you think about it, as a kid, would you ever have thought, now younger self you that you'd be doing, Turtles and Street Fighter, you know,
Well, from a very young age, I knew I wanted to do something related to either movies, comics, or animation. I knew it. But I mean, when the Turtles came out, and when Street Fighter came out, actually I was a fan of the games. I've never been like a hardcore gamer, and I'm not particularly good at gaming, but I like it,
yeah,
I enjoyed playing Street Fighter a lot, and I liked the characters,
yeah,
and with the Turtles, I really liked that the original comics, because they were more gritty, and
yeah,
I read a few of them because a friend of mine was a fan, and he actually collected them, and so I would read them at his house. I would take a look at them, and I thought they were pretty cool. And of course, at that moment, I never thought I'm going to do this professionally. And when it, as I said, when they told me, you know what? Because I mean, I had been trying to get into IDW for some time, but I never thought they would give me characters like these.
yeah,
I never thought like they draw the turtles. I thought that would give me like others, another less known property or something like that. And I didn't know they would make a crossover with Street Fighter. So it was like in the same comic, I get to draw these two huge properties which are known and beloved all over the world. And
yeah.
so yeah, it's unreal. Yeah,
Like I said, man, congratulations on that. I mean, you know, it is for me. I'm excited. Like I said, when I saw
thank
the
you,
cover, that was my first idea. Was like, I gotta find who drew this, who's doing, And I'm
thank you.
glad that you responded for it, so we can talk today. Um, I hope to bring you back when you can actually tell us more. Once the issues come out, because that's one thing. Of course, you can't tell us about the story and about more detail, like when the writer writes to you, and you kind of have to take what she's written to you and then put it on the pages. Um,
Mhm.
I would love to talk to you about like when you got the story and she, or he or she's writing it, and they tell you, okay, this, they're in this fight scene, whatever, whatever. It's where you have to take it, and it has to come from your head and put it on the paper. That's the
Yeah,
fun part. That's like the nitty gritty right there, because you kind of have to imagine what's written in your head and then put it down on paper. And of course, you
yeah,
can't really give us more detail other than the 2 pages, because without giving the story away. But yeah, it would be cool to talk about, once all 5 issues come out, and we can chat again and talk
yeah,
about how was it with the story, what were your thoughts, and do all that. That would be great. If you're something you'd be down for later, hey, that would be
yeah.
awesome.
I would be up for it. Yeah,
And
sure.
then you know what too, even better too, I think it would be cool, because I'm actually trying to get an interview with Carlo as well, because I worked
Mhm.
on him a couple of projects before, and it'd be cool. I guess that maybe even have the two of you on the live stream together, and we can all talk about, your comics and stuff like that and art. And I think that would be pretty cool. Uh, like I said, I've worked with him in the past and stuff like that. So um, I'm working on
That would
him
be
next.
that would be pretty awesome.
Okay, cool. If you're
Yeah.
down, I'll mention it to him too, and then see if we can pull this off and try to not keep you up too late. And we can talk because once we start talking and stuff, because he's in the States now. He's at Lexington this weekend, and then he's gonna be at two other conventions in Texas.
Mm.
So I'm trying to go next Saturday to meet him at one, and because there was one figure Hot Wheel car that came out with that has the Deadpool, and they used his logo on the packaging that he
Oh,
drew, and he said he has not seen that yet, and he hasn't found one. So I picked it up for him. So I'm gonna
oh,
actually go.
cool.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna go give it to him for him. So I'm gonna present it to him, in person instead of having to ship it to him.
No, that's very cool. That's very cool.
But like I said, thank you for taking the time, sir. I do appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me, and thanks to everyone who has taken the time to watch this video and listen to us talking about comics, which is very cool. Comics are really cool.
Yeah, they definitely are. Well, appreciate it. All right, countdown to the Geekcast. Don't forget, like us, subscribe, and look forward to the next interview. Peace.